do you still French kiss?
Not that I'm one to kiss and tell, but yeah, French kissing is on a personal level just the most intimate way to connect upper bodies. But on a professional level, it's something that, we have to do on stage as actors,
True.
which you might not know the other person that you're kissing until the very day that you have to be that intimate with them. So
But you don't have to kiss with tongue though, which is good.
it depends on the movie and the scene.
Oh God. Oh
And
no.
so the answer is yes. Not only do I, but it's something that for me is very personal. So that way, that intimacy is something I could give to my role. So it's just as profound when they kiss as when I do. Just as a coach myself, I've never suggested that people rehearse the kiss. Like that's kind of your own personal space when you're getting familiar with the role and the
Yeah.
character and your scene partner. But if the situation calls for it and there's mutual consent, like any physical contact, whether it be a stunt or a kiss, a fight, anything, you both have to be on the same page. But yeah, if you are both on the same page, hold those flames together, see how it works.
Go for it. I love it. And then I would love to hear about your first love or your big love in 3 words.
My first love. Can I get clarification first before I respond?
Yes.
Is this the family I was born into or chosen love?
You can choose. It doesn't
Cool.
matter.
My first
Doesn't
then
matter.
would be the love that I received from my family. So 3 words. Unconditional, nurturing, and expressive.
Oh, that's lovely. I love those words. Very nice. And then how important do you think music is for your intimate relationships?
I think music is the universal language that can bypass all of the limitations that prevent us from communicating with each other. So if you don't, which is why if you don't like the same music as someone else, it's kind of a sign of what your relationship's going to look like.
I love that. I never actually thought of that. That's
It's a
actually a very
dance.
good point.
It's all a dance, and if we're not dancing to the same music with each other, then we're going to be out of harmony, and it makes things very difficult.
I love that. You're the first one to point that out. I think that's a very important factor and a good help for people searching for a partner out there.
Yeah, that's why if you listen to music and you do it publicly and you share the music that you listen to, you'll find other people who like that same type of music, and then at least have that out of the way.
But it's very true because I just briefly, not long ago, we were having this skiing trip in north of Norway, and one of the guys, he's Scottish, and he was having on his playlists so many of the songs that I have on my playlist, and we were like sitting there listening to music the whole night. Okay, my husband was always there, also there, so I wasn't alone with him. But still, it was like a wow. You have the same. It is a revolution. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to meet people who have the same.
That's why I think music festivals are so popular still, because it's a way to put yourself in an environment with a collective mentality. That doesn't involve politics necessarily, unless you're going to a political music festival, which I don't know of any of those. But typically, it's more just about the love of your freedom to enjoy why we're here, really.
But maybe there should be. Maybe there should be a political, because I'm thinking of theater. That's how theater started. It was political theater.
Yeah,
so maybe they should.
It's, but I think there's an underlying message in a lot of people's music, and music is not only just a platform for people to express themselves with how they feel about their own lives, but how they feel about what's going on in the world, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Going back to ancient Greece, where no one was literate and they had to hire attractive orators to read those
Yeah.
tablets or papyrus or you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good idea. I like it. I like it. And then how important do you think dance is for an intimate relationship?
Talk about the embodiment of um, primal existence. Dance is, oh man, it's how we all got here. Not to get too intimate or too vulgar, but without dance, you know, you don't really have a physical connection to another person. My father, who grew up without any limitation on his vocabulary, this guy says everything that comes to his mind.
I would
Uh,
love him then. I would
oh
love
man,
him then.
still kicking. 96 years old. All right, was a cowboy, did hundreds of movies and TV shows and all these westerns. And
Wow.
he always always said, if you can't dance, you can't make love. And he didn't use the term make love, but
No, no, no. But I agree. I agree.
yeah.
It's
Um,
important. It's important. And you are doing loads of different things. You're acting, you're producing. Yeah, you made your own movies. I mean, everything. So you have to tell us, is there to inspire you? Would you listen to music to be inspired by your creativity, either in acting or producing or yeah, in general in your work?
when it comes to using music as an inspiration, I use it more than just as an inspiration. I use it as like a software update. For example, every day that I wake up in a different mood, like all of us, and each mood has a certain genre of music or playlist, if you will, at least in my heart, that will guide that mood to where I'd like for it to go in order for me to have the best possible outcome for my day. Similar to how people listen to high energy music when they work out, or very low energy, tranquil music when they meditate. Um, I use music as like software essentially to boost myself, kind of like a super drug for my brain. Um,
That's cool.
yes.
Cool. So maybe you would like some of my dance music then.
Love it, love it. I'm always we ride our bikes over 100 kilometers a month out here. Um,
Yeah, I can imagine. And all the Spanish music is amazing as well, huh?
since we put our daughter in flamenco, we've been going to her practices, and she just had her first performance in front of almost 800 people. She's 5, by the way, and she's only been doing it since
Wow.
March. But she
Yeah.
feels the emotion behind that music because it's so
Mhm.
powerfully packed, with how they feel when they write it, when they sing it, what the stories are all about. Um,
Mhm.
and she's getting it. Oh man, she had such a fun time. But yeah,
That's
all
fantastic.
music from all over the world is our first history lesson. It's
Mm.
it's it's how we tell stories. It's how we communicate to other people. Um, it's when language becomes or storytelling becomes illegal or not illegal but censored. We can always figure out other ways to communicate with each other, and music has typically been one of those ways historically. So I think,
True.
yeah, I think it's got a huge connection to every one of us, whether we like to admit it or not.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And we would love to hear what you are up to because you are, you're very multi talented.
Thank you. I wear a lot of hats, uh, but one of the bigger hats that I'd say I've been carrying for the longest period of time is as a performer, as an actor. Um, I've always been inspired by the actors that I grew up with, considering that my mom, Bobby Shaw Chance, and my dad, Larry Chance, they've had this acting class that I was lucky enough to be kind of born into. Started at my preschool. My sister was going to preschool when I was born. I went there. But an art teacher at this preschool told my sister that elephants must be gray, which
I
triggered my
thought they were
mom.
pink. I thought they were
Exactly,
pink,
exactly. Whatever it
like
was,
me
like
today.
when that got, yeah, it's a beautiful blazer, by the way. But when that word got to my mom, she was triggered. It's like, you don't dare
Yeah.
limit my daughter's artistic ability, da da da. And that led her to start this acting class that I was lucky enough to be that little baby growing up in. Since then, I've been acting. I've been putting up scenes. I've been working on movies and TV shows and projects, uh, and I can never get enough of it. But that led me to meet the most extraordinary people who are in the business of making dreams visible and audible to other people around the world through filmmaking.
Yeah.
And I was just in love with all these people. It was amazing how that's what they dedicated their lives to. So I wanted to do it naturally. I was obsessed. My father's a writer. Um, my mom's been directing. I've been wanting to do all of these things for years. I got lucky enough to be hired to be the head of productions for a fantastic production company in Los Angeles, which I still work for remotely from here. Called Gold Tree.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Gold Tree Films LLC. We also have a post-production facility that we just opened in February, kind of launched this summer on Sunset Boulevard. Gold Tree
Wow.
Studios. It's the most beautiful, high-tech, like we have recording studios and editing suites and a giant sound stage, green screen, and LED. We could do motion capture soon. Like we're
Wow.
expanding into other parts of the country, building out more production facilities. So we're making our movies. We're helping other movies that weren't able to finish their post-production reach completion with our business model. And we're just, our slate of movies that we get to make are so cool. I don't know how much I can talk about them, but they're such awesome movies that everybody is like, oh, I'm a very lucky guy. So I still teach this acting class online. We had to shut down. Our family business wasn't allowed to remain open due to the pandemic, obviously,
Oh,
in March.
no.
But we had thousands of actors that relied on us for what they consider poor man's therapy, which is, as you know, as an actor, when if you're used to expressing yourself on a consistent basis and that gets taken away from you all of a sudden, that emotional energy has nowhere to go.
You're sad. You're sad.
And you're a musician too, so imagine if you weren't allowed to make music, or you know, it starts to chip away at their psyche. And we were getting blown up by everyone saying, "What are you going to do? What should I do?" So we started doing sessions on Zoom, and I did 150 beta test sessions before we started launching these programs. So I wanted to get all the kinks out. I wanted to make sure this platform wasn't a hindrance and didn't interfere with all the work that we had been doing for 30 years at our acting class. And we did it. We nailed it. We figured it out. And we've done, I lost track, around 700, but since March of 2020, we've done hundreds and hundreds of workshops and programs through Zoom with thousands of actors from all over the world now in real time like this, Norway and Barcelona.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's blowing up. That's expanding beyond my wildest dreams. I'm in talks with a few people in other countries to create brick and mortar locations where actors can come congregate, do scenes with each other now that the pandemic restrictions have been lifted, including my studio on Sunset Boulevard with my partners. Shout out to Tim Chinakis, to my brother, who, you know, with very limited resources and help, created that whole facility while I was out here in Europe, creating our European development branch for our slate of films. But we're going to be opening up these acting classes. I'm going to be a big projected face on the wall, cameras pointing at the stage. And we're doing
That's good. Congratulations. That's so cool. So are you also in New York? Because my daughter just moved to New York. You're not, because she's also into acting and stuff.
I'm in talks with I don't know if I could even talk about this yet. I think I can. I think we're far enough
Okay.
along. These wonderful people. There's a couple. Let's just say he's in charge of a very beautiful symphony in New York.
Wow.
And he has made it very clear that he wants us to branch out into the city and open up facilities so we can reach out to everybody. New York, South Korea, Egypt. My partner's in Cairo right now working it out with Media City Productions. Los Angeles, obviously, and then a few other places around the US and obviously here in Europe.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I would love to. I'd very much so love to be on the East Coast as soon as possible. There's a lot of talented
Yes.
actors out there.
Yes, she's amazing. So I'm cheering for her.
But in the meantime, if actors want to reach out, we have an open door policy. We accept everybody from everywhere as long as they're dedicated to getting the role off the page. And they're generally good people, you know, which typically happens when you pursue the arts. But yeah, it's easy. You just go to the website. It's my name, RichieChance.com, and you see all the things that we provide. And we're working with people from all over the world in real time. So,
fantastic. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And how does the word music make you feel?
Man, the sensory tapestry that that I experience, it's like a kaleidoscope of thoughts and feelings because it's such a vague general term that describes, you know, so many tangential thoughts. Oh man, it makes me feel positive and hopeful.
Good. I love that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. I'm so happy to meet you.
It's been a pleasure, really.